From auditioning for roles meant for the opposite gender to being discovered while picking up trash, here are 7 idols who defied norms to find their destiny. Or more precisely, perhaps destiny found them. 7. GOT7 Jackson Wang. He thought Big Bang is at JYP. Before becoming a successful idol and solo artist, Jackson had a promising career as a young athlete. Coming from an elite family of athletes, his father was a professional fencer who won a gold medal at the Asian Games. His mother was an acrobatics gymnast in Shanghai. Under his father and other fencing coaches' guidance, Jackson excelled in fencing and earned numerous awards. In 2010, he achieved the impressive 11th rank at the Summer Youth Olympics. However, Jackson's life took a dramatic turn when a representative from JYP Entertainment visited his international school in Hong Kong. At the time, Jackson, then 16 years old, was spotted playing basketball. The casting agent was struck by Jackson's good looks. Around this time, Jackson developed a passion for K-pop after a friend introduced him to Big Bang. When the casting agent invited him to audition for JYP Entertainment, Jackson misunderstood and thought JYP was Big Bang's agency. He was amazed to think that Big Bang's agency had come to scout him. Despite his promising athletic career, he agreed to audition. Can you imagine Jackson's face when he arrived at JYP building and realized Big Bang wasn't there? Jackson later recalled his audition was really awkward since he was a fencer with no singing and dancing experience.
I was a fencer. What do you expect from a fencer? Expect him to dance? You expect him to sing, to rap?
Nevertheless, he was always a confident kid. Perhaps it was destiny. 3 weeks after his audition, JYP emailed him that he had passed, which was an amazing feat considering there were 2,000 applicants for that audition. Initially, Jackson's parents were against the idea, but he persisted and eventually convinced them. At 17 years old, young Jackson flew to South Korea alone, and the rest is history. 6. 2PM's Nick-kun. Most awkward cafe audition. The casting agent was more desperate than him. Nick-kun from 2PM never dreamed of a career in entertainment. During his guest appearance on Eric Nam's podcast, he talked about how he didn't plan to be a singer or dancer and had no special talent in this particular area. However, his striking good looks caught the eye of a relentless JYP casting agent who was super determined to sign him, they even making things up on the spot. One fine day, when he followed his friend to a Korean festival in Los Angeles, he was approached by a woman who spoke in Korean. The lady was accompanied by a translator and explained that she is a casting manager from JYP Entertainment. The translator says, "She's from JYP and she would like you to follow her back to the hotel to tape an audition."
And I'm like,
wait, what?
That does not sound
Sounds
sketchy
suspicious.
at all.
Knowing he lacked talent and was shy, Nick-kun initially refused and walked away. They somehow managed to get his contact, though. Within that week, the casting agent keeps contacting Nick-kun relentlessly. They got desperate and explained that it's almost their time to return to Korea, and before they go, they really need to get Nick-kun on tape. Finally, Nick-kun agrees to have a conversation in a cafe joint near his house. He made the agent went to his neighborhood. Imagine that. Usually people chase agencies, not the other way around. It was 8 p.m., the busiest time. Nick-kun remembered. Inside the cafe they talked, but outside, the crew just went ahead and set up cameras, and Nick-kun ends up having an audition out there. The situation proved to be a mix of awkwardness, embarrassment, and unexpected twists. The crew did everything to make Nick-kun appealing on tape, and tried to find any reason to recruit him as a trainee. They asked Nick-kun to introduce himself in different languages. He only knew English and Thai. Then they asked for modeling poses, but that didn't work. So they asked him to sing. Nick-kun sang a so-so All or Nothing by O-Town, which added to his pressure. Feeling his singing was also lacking, the crew still didn't give up. Just when Nick-kun thought the embarrassing audition was finally over, the JYP reps made a surprising move. They pulled up their Escalade, rolled down the windows, and blasted Usher's "Yeah."
Huh?
Nick-kun had to dance in front of a captivated Starbucks crowd. He said he couldn't dance, but the crew urged desperately, "Just anything! We just want to see you move!"
I did everything that they asked me to.
Nick-hoon recalled. After the audition, he thought he would never hear from them again. But 2 weeks later, JYP contacted him, offering him the chance to move to Korea. It's a different story compared to other K-pop stars who had to work hard just to get an audition. But as they say, when you've got it, you've got it. In Nick-hoon's case, he had that X factor that made him stand out, even if it wasn't through singing or dancing. 5. 2PM's Wooyoung auditioned for Wonder Girls. Yes, you heard that correct. Wooyoung from 2PM was so determined to join JYP, he auditioned for a spot in one of JYP's most successful girl group, Wonder Girls, even though he knew he had no chance of passing. He revealed this surprising fact on Knowing Brothers. I was desperate and really wanted to join JYP, Wooyoung recalled. Despite knowing it was nearly impossible, he realized the audition criteria never specified gender. When he arrived, he found himself in a long line of girls. So I waited in line all day, went inside and auditioned. Of course, I failed right away. Despite the setback, Wooyoung's determination remained strong. He kept auditioning every 6 months, seeing each failure as a chance to improve. He never gave up on his dream. Okay, see you in 6 months, I'll be better, he said. His persistence eventually paid off. In 2007, Wooyoung achieved something remarkable. He won first place in JYP Entertainment's first annual open audition. Typically, K-pop trainees sign short-term contracts that can be terminated if their performance doesn't meet expectations. After winning, JYP initially offered Wooyoung a 3-month trainee contract. However, after just 10 minutes, they changed their minds and offered him a full exclusive contract, even though he was still a trainee. This was a big deal at the time and almost unheard of in the industry. Do you think they remember him as the guy who almost joined Wonder Girls? Wooyoung continues to grow within the company, and within just a year, he debuted as a member of the original Beast Doll 2PM. 4. Newest, JR, Because of a Dream. A recruiter at Pledis Entertainment had a premonition-type dream that foretold they would discover a K-pop idol at a specific school in Gangneung, Gangwon Province, a 3-hour journey from Seoul. Instead of dismissing it as just a dream, they decided to investigate. So, if I go to that school, I'll find a kid to join our agency, the casting director thought. As fate would have it, JR attended that very school. One afternoon, on his way home from classes, he crossed paths with the casting director. I was approached by an agency representative who asked me if I wanted to become a celebrity, JR recalled. Growing up in a small neighborhood in Gangneung, JR's parents initially refused to let him audition, fearing it might be a scam. However, the casting director persisted and eventually convinced JR's parents to let him audition. That decision led JR to become Pledis Entertainment's first male trainee. 3. Dongbang Shinki, Changmin, Because his mom wants to see Boa. Despite his incredible vocal skills displayed in Dongbang Shinki, Changmin never had an interest in the entertainment industry. I had no dreams of becoming a singer, he says. An SM casting manager saw Changmin playing badminton, and he waited until after school to approach him with an audition offer. I was playing badminton during gym class, and someone was observing me. After school was over, he gave me a name card, Changmin recalled. The staff member at SM Entertainment encouraged him to audition. Initially, Changmin didn't think much of it. Even his friends who witnessed the offer didn't make a fuss about it. Perplexed like him, they jokingly said, "You don't have enough talent for that." Later at home, Changmin showed the card to his mom without much thought. Instead of concern, she was excited when she learned which agency the manager was from. Changmin's mom is a huge fan of Boa, so she urged him to try out, hoping for a chance to meet the OG queen of K-pop herself. My mother asked me, "Am I able to see Boa?" and was really excited. Being a dutiful son, Changmin auditioned. Even though he had no basics in dancing or singing, he says he just clapped like a seal and sang the national anthem. After the audition, the casting manager said they would inform him of the outcome within 3 weeks. Surprisingly, just 3 days later, SM called and offered him a trainee position. Changmin entered SM Entertainment at the age of 14, and after only 1 year of training, he debuted as a member of the legendary Dongbang Shinki. 2. NCT Jaemin, casted while picking up trash. Idols have been discovered in diverse locations, from schools and concerts to city streets. One place you wouldn't expect a casting manager to find someone is when they're picking up trash. That's exactly how NCT's Jaemin was discovered. The most heartwarming part of this unusual story, Jaemin was actually doing volunteer work with his mom at the time. While I was in Incheon, I was handing out posters and collecting trash as a volunteer, and that was when the officials from SM noticed me. He joined SM Entertainment in 2013, before his 13th birthday. Later, he became part of the pre-debut team SM Rookies, and officially debuted with NCT Dream in 2016. Among fans, Jaemin is known for his caring gestures and passion for helping others. He continues to volunteer in various projects to this day, despite his busy schedule with NCT. 1. NCT Taeyong. Because of a toast. Crazy to think that if not for one piece of toast, SM might never have had their beloved NCT leader. On the KBS show Happy Together, Taeyong shared his unique story of how his K-pop idol career began. When Taeyong was approached by an SM Entertainment casting manager on the street, he knew nothing about K-pop, let alone considering a career in entertainment. In fact, when the agent told Taeyong he was from one of the top 3 entertainment companies, Taeyong adorably thought he meant SBS, KBS, and MBC. This was during his 2nd year of high school. They really don't tell you what agency they're from. The only big 3 I knew at the time was MBC, KBS, and SBS. I thought it must be one of those, Taeyong recalled. Initially, he didn't give the recruiter an answer and just went about his way, but the agent persisted and kept coming back to convince him. Unexpectedly, what won him over in the end was when the casting manager bought him Korean toast. So, I thought, since they're buying me good things, they must be good people. He finally went to the SM audition office at Apgujeong, and even then, he still didn't have any clue that it's one of the biggest entertainment agencies in Korea. Since he wasn't trained in singing or anything, he sang the Korean national anthem and did some popping. He passed and joined SM Entertainment. Later, he was added to the famous SM Rookies and gained fan base from there. After 4 years training, he finally debuted as part of NCTU in 2016. Look at this face and talent. SM really had to thank that one piece of toast. From casting stories, let's move on to dating stories. Dive into how your favorite idols managed to date in secret. Join us as we explore the know-how straight from the idols and industry insiders themselves. Alternatively, let's delve into BabyMonster's journey to stardom. Learn how they swiftly regained public recognition for their talents among many new idols, proving that in the end, talent wins.